Does anyone have any other announcements?
Rachel, if there's a minute or two left over at the end, I got a comment on propagation on 6 meters.
A what on propagation?
Just some observed propagation. But well, I can do it now in a minute.
Sure.
Just talking to a friend a few minutes before the schedule on Zoom here, and he said there's been very active propagation transequatorial between New England and Argentina and Chile, particularly on 6 meters, FT8 and sideband and CW, of course. But I just thought I'd pass that along for anybody who hasn't been aware of it or maybe has a 6 meter rig or 6 meters on their HF rig. And I found that you can usually find an antenna if you've got more than one that'll work on 6 meters. Anyway, that's it.
I noticed this too, Bob. I worked the Falkland Islands on 6 meters last week without any effort at all. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have the 6 meter beacon from WWV Broadcasting, the Whisper Beacon, because it's been very, very active. A lot of activity here in Colorado and in the Midwest to VK land. So very big, very big. Hey, Rachel, I wanted to bring up one other thing real quick.
Sure.
I wanted to thank everybody. I didn't make it to Hamside this year, but I wanted to thank everybody. I got an award in the mail from Nathaniel. It's the Outstanding Contribution to Hamside, HF Doppler, and Whisper Research. And so thank you, everybody, for recognizing me. It's really fun to get an award like that. It's the second service award I've received as an amateur radio operator. And the first one was when I was 17 years old. So this is kind of fun to get one at the other end of your time as a ham. So it's kind of neat.
That was only 5 years back, right, Dave?
Yeah, just the other day.
Yeah, no problem.
But I do remember it very well. I got to do I got to go into Johnstown, PA after the big flood in 1977 and did health and welfare out of a church balcony. And we did that for about 5 days. And the church was, interesting enough, a Ukrainian church. And so they had all kinds of, it was the central spot to bring clothing and food for people that needed it. And it was a devastating flood in Johnstown. I think it literally wiped out the city's economy since 50 years ago. But yeah, that was an exciting time too. But really neat to get this award. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, any other announcements, updates, or anything else that anyone would like to talk about later?
When we get to the grape drive swap, I'd like to show the paragraph I put on the website to make sure it's accurate. So when we get there.
Okay. I think is Kung here?
Yeah, I saw him logged in.
Yes, I am.
If you're ready, you can take it away.
Yeah, so I show Buengoki how to run my conversion code and the plotting code at Hamside, and we verify that it does run on a server with very acceptable system resource consumption. So those programs are good to go. So now I'm moving forward with the C routines that would directly write raw data from the grip to stations to DHRF and bypassing the CSV code, bypassing the CSV format. So that's where I'm at right now. Back to the net.
I hope we're not planning on getting rid of the CSV format files on the Grape 2, because I know Christina is using it, her that in her research, and I believe Rachel as well. But
At,
Maybe I'll just say,
at least not in the near future. I don't think so.
okay,
Yeah, for now I'm just simply grabbing the
just
same
in
data.
addition.
Yeah, in addition to, it's like a something that happening in parallel to the other CSV writing.
In the Grape 2's free time.
Yep. Which it doesn't have a lot of.
It's not burden now, yeah, it's still sweating bits.
Yeah, the CSV files that come out of the Grape One legacy system from FL Digi work come into the personal space for the station network system quite well and automatically get plotted when they get dropped. And I'm working with Bill Blackwell. He has tested and has working an automatic uploader for that. And we're getting ready to test that with a couple of other folks. I think we're going to get some help from Gary and also Dave Swartz on that. And Bill Blackwell also had a wonderful idea of adding a function into the PSWS station page where you can click a button, it'll upload to your system an uploader config. I should say download. It'll create a config file. And all you have to do is copy that to your Raspberry Pi and the uploader code, and it should work. But it's going to take a couple weeks at least to get that working. I'm going to talk with the students about that in our telco tomorrow. So we're getting close. Also, there's the mystery of some missing files from the Grape One legacy stations. Gary has experienced this and then put out a list of some other things that had been noticed to be missing. And those are missing on the WWV club server. So we don't know where those files went. I think there was some failures of uploads. But maybe some of that data is still available on people's Grape One legacy systems. And so probably what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put together an uploader where you can control it and you can select dates, historical dates you want to upload. That seems quite feasible to do as long as the data is still there. And by the way, John, also, while I'm talking, we have received the first box of drives. The secretary got those, and those are under lock and key. I'm out of town right now. I'm traveling at the moment, but I will be back next week. And in the meantime, I told our IT guys, all right, you don't have the big server ready for us, so we need you to upgrade the existing personal space for the station network server enough so that I can get started doing the conversions. And hopefully we'll have that in place by next week. Maybe we can do a test conversion on one of these drives and see how it goes. I don't expect it to be anything other than time consuming, but if they can put enough capacity into this server, I should be able to run 4 or 5 conversions at once. So I'm sorry, back to Ned.
okay. Yeah, that pretty much gets us up to where we would have otherwise been. Gary, you had a comment on the drive swaps.
Yeah, if I could share my screen a second, I'll put the Hamsci website into edit mode, and then you guys can tell me what I need to fix here. So give me a second here. Share. Desktop. You go and edit. Okay, so here is the paragraph. Let me get Zoom out of the way. Hide self. Yeah. The hardest thing about using Zoom is using Zoom. Fold up. Thank you. Okay, So Grape 2 update, this swap March, April 2025. While some data was uploaded to Hamside data collection servers on a daily basis, and this especially you, John, a very narrow band of digitized audio, centered about 1 kilohertz below the 3 time station carriers received. Is that what we've captured and uploaded so far?
Yes.
Okay. Also, a great deal more data was captured and stored locally on each hard drive. I wasn't specific on purpose.
Well, actually, it's 1 kilohertz above, because we're doing like one. Well, it doesn't really matter. It was the kilohertz that bandwidth. It's actually 3 kilohertz bandwidth. Now that I think about it, because we're sampling at 8 kilohertz. So yeah, roughly a 3 kilohertz audio bandwidth we're receiving.
But that's what's on the hard drive, right? The 3 kilohertz part.
Correct.
Okay. Okay,
It's
I can
the
put
actual raw
something to
data
that
stream.
effect. Approximately 3 kilohertz bandwidth.
And you're missing a D in captured and stored.
Okay. Yep, thank you. Was captured and stored locally on each Grape whose hard drive. The drives are filling up. How big are those? Are those 2 or 4 terabyte? I
They're
forgot.
4 terabytes.
4 terabyte drives are filling up, so new drives are being provided to each host. We ask that you follow this procedure. Of course, John sent me the procedure yesterday to make the swap. Questions are best raised to our Google group. Provisions have been made for the hosts to ship the old drives to the University of Alabama, where the data will be extracted and uploaded to the PSWS CCS. Does that look good?
Yeah.
Would
Okay,
somebody
I will-
explain to me why it's 3 kilohertz? I thought the kilohertz bandwidth on these was 8 kilohertz. No?
It's an 8 kilohertz sample rate, which gives you a theoretical 4 kilohertz bandwidth.
Okay.
But the audio bandpass filter is set to something around 3.
So,
Okay.
Gary, if you want, you could say we're saving 10.4 gig of data per day and give them an idea of what we're saving, which is why they're filling up so fast.
okay, 3 kilohertz bandwidth, approximately, what was that number again, John? 10 gigs per day?
10.4 gigabytes per day.
Okay.
And I got a rather indignant email from one of the users this morning. He was upset that he wasn't notified that this was going to happen. It's like, sorry.
Okay, thanks for the help.
I didn't mean to send an email, so that might be my bad. Okay. Thank you, Gary. Okay. So I think that's all of our updates on the drive swap. Bill, did you have any other updates? Or did you
Nothing further.
assume this is okay? Is Rob on today? Or Michael?
Robinette's on. He must be permanently muted.
That's okay. Rob, if you have any updates on either of the projects you're involved in, you can.
Also, Rachel, I just sent you the 2 shipping pictures if you want to include that in the notes.
Sure.
They're on your phone.
Okay, I might do it after the meeting.
Yeah,
then.
that's what I thought.
Let's see. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about? New business?
One thing I want to mention is the copy time for the solid state drive before you ship the drives back. I did 3 nodes. 2 of them took 7 hours and 1 took 4 hours. So your time may vary. It really depends on how the thumb drive is able to keep up with it. So
Are they USB 3 drives?
I believe so.
Yeah, that might make the difference. What port you
Well,
put
the
it on?
problem is we're doing a constant write, and the charge pump in the little drive gets hot. And if it backs off, it slows down.
John, where are you supposed to plug in a thumb drive when you're already using the one USB 3 is the hard drive, and the other
The other one is where
the
the
other
other
one
hard.
is where you put in your mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, well, that'll have to move.
To where? Because the other two are occupied by other devices.
What you probably need to do is get a hub, and when you shut it down, you can actually unplug the Leo Bodnar.
So you could boot it up with the Leo Bodnar unplugged. Is that what you're saying?
No, you boot it up with the Leo Bodnar, and then when you do the swap and the active copy, you could unplug the Leo Bodnar at that time.
The Leo
Is that part
Bodnar
of the
should keep its
directions?
programming.
Yeah, it'll keep its programming. It's
Yeah,
just
so
getting power there. That's
the
all.
only reason, well, is it being powered externally? No, it's being powered from the USB.
Yep, power is power USB, and if you
Yeah,
don't
so you
change the
can't unplug
frequency,
it or you won't have a clock.
right.
But if
Well,
you're
that's only
copying
for
files, you don't need a clock, do you?
correct. That's only running.
So are those instructions included to do what you just told me?
Nope.
Okay, there you go.
It's assuming you're doing a VNC. Everybody I've been talking to is running the VNC service, which is the way I did mine.
Well, yeah, I could do the VNC. I guess that's the way to do it. So not have a keyboard or mouse plugged in, just do the VNC.
Correct.
All right. That's the best approach.
And there, Rachel, you want to say during file copy operation only. If you're using a mouse and a keyboard, but both, I specifically tell you to put the thumb drive into this open USB 2 port right above the hard disk drive. So if you've cluttered up the second port, you need to move it.
Okay.
I have a question for John. The hard drives, are they the type of hard drive that I can just plug into a USB port on the server, or do I need or do I need an adapter for? Are they SCSI or what?
They are, boy, my mind just went blank. They're SATA drives, and they're SATA 3, and you will need an adapter.
Okay.
In fact, I was going to include one in your box, and I didn't because I have it sitting right here.
I think I have one left over from, oh.
That's what I used.
Is that what
Huh.
every user is going to be required to use?
Nope, they already have it in the hard disk controller case.
I think I have one of those left over from the Grape One days. Because I had a hard drive in an adapter.
The standard SATA interface, so there's nothing fancy about it.
And then what was that little connector on the end? It looked like USB-C or something?
Yes, it's a USB-C.
Okay.
Let's see if I
You
can
can
get
get them C or USB 3A.
Yeah, because I don't have USB-C ports on the computer I'm plugging
this one here is it's an A3. It's a type 3A connector.
Yeah,
Which
that one's A.
that's what you want. And
You
it
don't
also has
need
a
it.
little power supply in it to run the drive because it runs on 12 volts and pulls about 2 amps.
I use a Starlink version of that. They're pretty inexpensive and easy to get.
Yeah. Especially if
Okay.
you do multiple drives on your server, you'll probably need a couple of them.
Now, you're trying to run a full-size drive on that. That cable won't power it.
Correct. That's why it has a wall wart that runs it.
Right. You need to get one that does have a wall wart.
Most
Includes
of them
power.
come that way for this thing, but yeah, you'll want to. Well, if you
Yeah,
look
the
at this,
cases do, but I'm trying to. Yeah, I think it's a Starlink that I have that specifically has power for the large drives.
this one here has a wall wart in it, even though it doesn't
Oh,
indicate.
that one does. Okay.
Yeah,
It doesn't say it, but
doesn't say it on the box, but
yeah, if you get one, be sure that it includes a power supply
yeah,
because the big drives need the 12 volts. The
yeah,
little
and
guys don't.
they suck some power, and the USB-C can't provide that much power.
That's a wavelength brand you got there, John. Is that did I see
Wavelength.
that correctly? Wavelength?
Wavelength.
Okay. All right.
I will try and put this, see if I can get this on there, and I'll put it in the chat.
I might see if I can get one of those at Best Buy in order to get started here.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? QCC, if you will.
Yeah, it's $19.
I found out it's almost like buying it out of my own pocket because it takes me 4 months to get reimbursed for something like that. If I buy it myself.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has to suffer. Here it's like 6 months. It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sent the link to you.
I get it in 2 weeks here at Dartmouth.
Show off. I sent you the Amazon link there, Bill, for what?
Okay.
It's a Type A hard drive, USB 3. Power adapter included.
Now that says wavelength SATA to USB-A.
Well, it's the A type connector, but it's USB
Okay.
3.
And it's got the blue
It's the blue one, correct?
inset. Okay.
Yeah, if you look closely at the picture, it's blue on the little holes there.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I noticed that. So, all right.
So that gives you the extra data lines on the back side of the connector. It's just the Achilles heel of our controller because if you tilt the cable, it disconnects them and disconnects the drive. That's just par for the course, unfortunately, for that connector.
Right, right.
Hey, John, is there a way to build a little support that would sit on a table at the right height to help keep that held up?
Well, you have to keep the up-down motion relative to the USB connector fixed.
That's what I'm saying. You could build like a little platform that the wire is
Yeah, I
on
guess you
and
could do that. You could do that.
slides in there and maybe keeps it. That's my problem. It slides down and then it's disconnected and that's
Right,
it.
right. Now, I've done that multiple times myself when it's running. You just bump it or you just look at it funny and it disconnects. I've been half tempted to get the hot melt glue gun out, but I haven't done that yet. But it is frustrating.
I still
Filling
say
with-
duct tape.
Well, almost that would almost work.
I'm going to print something to hold it and I'll come up with something. I'll share it with people because mine comes disconnected on a regular basis. So
Yeah, fortunately, the new way Bill figured out how to load the drive, we're leaving it load itself in the media/pi directory, so it's not part of the operating system kernel mount system anymore. So you can actually
but
go
if
down.
you lose it, you still can't write to it.
Correct. But now it's not, you dismount it. You can use the little unmount arrow on the icon tray.
Without rebooting.
Without rebooting, yes.
Nice.
Bill Blackwell gets full credit for that one. He gets 3 gold stars and a go home early card. And they're in the mail, Bill.
Thanks, John.
Oh, and your script, Bill, it's throwing people for a loop because they're not expecting it to shut down the G2 console. It's like, I have to stop this first. And no, just run the script. But I have to shut down the console. No, just run the script.
Yeah,
Your magic is exceeding their expectations.
well, we aim to please.
Yes, you did. You blew them away.
By the way, on my question about the antenna, it turned out I thought it would stay up while I was having tree work done yesterday, but they
Oh,
hit the
no.
antenna, so it went down.
Oh.
Wasn't too hard to repair, but there is some dead time.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Your wall wart.
Is that,
W-A-R-T?
oh, it might be. Yes.
Okay. I've never heard of a wart. But they come in different shapes and sizes.
Hey,
Well,
Yeah,
wart is a
that's
real
your
word.
beer brewing on the wall.
Oh, there we go.
Well, W-O-R-T is a real word. It refers to if you're brewing beer and you boil it for a while, when it's but after it's boiled, but before it's fermented, it's called wort.
Oh, wow.
It's that big frothy foamy stuff that they have.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a useless piece of trivia. That's mainly what I have in my brain now.
Wart or useless trivia?
John
You have
Gibbons,
to
next
have
time you're in
something
Fort
there.
Collins, we'll go on a beer tour.
Yeah, in Germany, they dump it out in the squares, don't they? Or something after they finish brewing, it just goes out in the streets and they come and clean it up.
Well, in England, they take and they boil that down and they uh, package it and sell it as called Marmite. Spread it on bread and give it to babies for breakfast.
And grown-ups too.
Yeah,
No
I
idea.
think
You
it's
like it?
animal feed as well.
it tastes so good, but it's awfully salty. I think it's good as an addition to making gravy.
Yeah, no English household is an English household without at least one jar.
what's all this talk of beer? I thought this was a wine telecon.
We're expanding our horizons.
Is there a couple of grain themed receivers on the horizon? Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? I did think I saw Michael on,
Did
but
we get in there that all the drives shipped on Friday?
what?
Did we get in the notes that we shipped all the drives on Friday?
I marked it as completed.
Oh, good. Good.
In case, since we kind of jumped right to the part where we talked about people unpacking the drives, I think it was effectively glossed over that, in fact, the drives shipped.
All the people should have gotten them by now because the way we shipped them, they should have gotten them by Tuesday, I would think.
I
How did
got
you ship
mine
I
yesterday.
received mine yesterday.
Okay.
How did you ship them?
FedEx. I think it was second day.
It was
I
fast.
I have not received one.
So some of them were second day and some of them were ground, but it depended on which one was marked as faster, I suppose. Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Any updates on
Something completely different. I just noticed W1AW was CQing on 6 meters.
Okay. Michael, any updates from you? I think I saw you on now.
Yes, I am on, but I don't really have much in the way of updates. There's still a variety of testing being done on the single antenna system. And the DX engineering antenna running here. Dave Larson also has one. We have not deployed yet a couple of other single antenna systems at Dave Witten's remote farm up in northwestern Missouri. So that that remains to be done. That said, though, Glenn and Elmer are doing a lot of work, I think, continuing to analyze things in Long Island. The outstanding question remains, I think, whatever antenna we use, the question raised by Jonathan, which is some testing to ensure that any active antenna doesn't interfere with the VLF. I think there's a fairly high degree of confidence that that's unlikely, but it has not explicitly been tested. That both Elmer and I are kind of taking baby steps toward getting some kind of version of a VLF system set up. Jonathan is at some point gonna guide me in making his version of a preamp. He's still in the throes of trying to convert it to KiCad or KeyCAD or whatever you call it, and preparing a bill of materials for constructing one, even if you don't use KiCad version. So that whole VLF part of things remains in pretty early stages.
One more item. Elmer and I will be setting up a complete system, including both the SAS and the DX engineering at Nathaniel's. So Nathaniel, this is the week starting Monday, April 21st. And so I think Nathaniel's home, QTH, will be the first of the fully, implemented and configured DAISY 2 installation. So we're hoping that, the intention is that will give us a test site to evaluate the interactions between the performance and interactions between the different antenna systems. So.
and anyone who wants to join us, I think Jonathan is going to be, well, at least one day be able to join us on Friday of that week. So hopefully by that point we'll have the rest of the antennas up and working and fully tested. So there'd be at least two shortwave systems running, one with the DX Engineering, one with SAS, and the existing magnetometer and VLF antennas, I think they're already in place and working. So hopefully at that point we'll have a very good place where we can evaluate the relative merits and costs and merits of different solutions.
Okay.
It's April 20, well, the week of April 21st, the week starting with a Monday after Easter Sunday.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Rob, any whisper updates? Okay. Anything else anyone wants to talk about? All right. I suppose that is everything then. Meeting adjourned. 73, everyone.
All right, take care, everyone.
7 3s.
7-3.
7-3.